That's weird. That's weird. Kind of weirding me out.
You are a sad, strange little man.
Crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. Isn't that weird?
That's weird, man.
It's strange.
What's up, campers? Welcome back to episode 159 of Camp Strange. I am your camp counselor, Alex Tobin.
And I'm your other camp counselor, Thomas Thimblebatch.
Oh, hey, Thomas. How's it going?
Horrible.
I thought so. And we're back.
back.
We're back to bring the spooky, wacky, weird, strange, and curse?
Uh-oh. Who's got curses?
who got curse? And before we do, we got to catch up on any of the weird news you may have missed in the past coming weeks. And, David, would you like to start?
Sure. You know, I'm turning a new leaf here, guys. I know we're 159 episodes in, but you know what I did for the first time?
What?
I read the news articles.
No.
I took notes. I closed the articles. I took notes, and I just wrote them right into my story.
Wait, speaking
what?
of curse, I didn't read mine, and I'm like trying to skim them really fast. Did you curse me?
That's what my story's about. I put a curse on you.
Fuck. Okay.
So, woman arrested for car theft drove another stolen car to court appearance in Dublin, California.
He's bad.
41-year-old Brandy Jones was caught driving a different stolen car to court for her case about stealing another car. And on it, I mean, that's all I've got on that one because like the news article is literally like 4 sentences. So
how do you think that like people who just like steal cars like that are they just like kleptos or something, or do they need the car?
That's one crime I really just don't get is stealing cars because it's hard enough like owning a car with all the fucking paperwork and all the registrations and shit.
And these gas prices.
Oh my god. You better be stealing the ones with a full tank. But yeah, no, it's like I just don't, with a license plate, everything, like there's so many things that can go wrong, and I just don't get. That's just one I don't get, why you steal cars and then don't immediately like sell them.
Well,
just drive them around.
The security guard at my work, we work in like North Hollywood, and there's like parts of North Hollywood that aren't like the nicest and stuff. And where we are is like a warehouse. It's like industrial and stuff. And he said that like I was driving in, and there's like a car with the windows down, like parked almost in the middle of like the street. But it was like, it's like cul-de-sac at the end, so not a lot of people go down that street. And I was like, what the fuck? So I talked to the security guard, and he's like, oh yeah, last night like some kids like drove through here. We're doing donuts in the cul-de-sac and like driving around, and then they and then all of a sudden I walked out to check, and there's like a car in the middle of the road just like sitting there, and I was like, oh, maybe they did like a steal it for a joyride, burn rubber, and then ditch it because it's kind of like a fun initiation / whatever. You know what I mean? It could be numerous things, but I was like, I guess that's the move. If you're going to steal a car, drive it around for a couple hours and then ditch it. But still, like, God, the risk is so high and the reward is nothing.
So little.
Nothing.
Yeah, I don't get that one at all.
Yeah, well, she gets it.
She loves it. She can't get enough.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. It's, how did they find out she stole that car?
Someone checked it, probably. I don't know.
That's bananas.
Yeah.
Good for her, though.
Yeah, it's doing great. Good job, Brandy.
Well, I have one right here as a bizarre diet cult that lives without food and water caught its leader eating McDonald's.
Does it go into specifics about how many Filet-O-Fish he was having?
He's like, the fish, they breathe the water and the air. They don't breathe the air. I don't know how fish work. No, but this guy, this article is like so long, and I was like trying to skim it, but like it opens by saying like Michelle Pfeiffer, of Catwoman fame.
Yeah.
She, like, when she was 20, she joined it, like, doing, like, this diet regimen to keep her, like, slim and all that stuff. And then she, like, was reading about cults and stuff and realized that, like, she was in one. So, it's like, she got out of it. But, like, I guess she started off as like a vegetarian or fruitarian, where you just only eat fruit. No pest, just fruit.
Okay.
But basically, this guy's whole ideology was like, people in India go for a while without food, and like they like meditate, and like there's like certain sects in India, not sex, but like tantric sex,
so high in protein,
But I don't know, it's just like very interesting. I want to read this whole article, but this guy was apparently like, all we need is like air and sunlight. And
that's not true.
Yeah, and then he said like eating is like a habit that we taught ourselves, like smoking or alcohol, and we need to like try to fast more. I don't know what his exact like stipulations were for the diet, if like you could have like a droplet of water or something like that, but it says he first got introduced when he went on the show That's Incredible in the 1980s and deadlifted 1,100 pounds. So that wait.
The fuck? No, he didn't.
Wait. Yes, he did. Wait.
No, he fucking did.
There's too many people talking about it. Claiming to have fasted for 19 years, Brooks was first introduced to the public in 1980 by deadlifting 1,100 pounds on a variety show That's Incredible. Shortly after, the Daily Mail reported that he'd been a New York-based sound engineer for Jimi Hendrix and what is going on?
Hold on. How much did he say he deadlifted?
1,100 pounds. Not 11,000 pounds, David. 1,100.
Yeah, I know. I Googled it. The record. Have you ever tried the deadlift before?
No, I like my back.
Okay. The record is 1,105 pounds. So you're telling me this guy was 5 pounds? This guy was 6 pounds away from having the world record?
I don't even know if this is the same guy.
It can't be. No, I'm just saying.
This guy didn't even eat anything. He can't lift shit.
Is his name? Holy shit.
No, that's not his name.
Halfpoor Julius Bjornjamir?
This guy is obviously Swedish and probably a giant. I don't know. There's like a lot to unpack here. I'm definitely pulling a David right here, and I didn't really read all of it because it was so much. But basically, they said that like people started to leave because they caught him at 7-Eleven with like Slurpees and hot dogs and Twinkies and trays of room service, including chicken pot pies and biscuits, and then like people started leaving, and then he just started saying that like he had like bad breakups with some women in the cult, and like, or like people were like bitter because he was the one in charge, and he started creating all this like shit to like make it seem like they were leaving not because of his ideology but because of like his behavior or their behavior. Super weird.
Real quick, you know how I was just trying to read that guy's name who holds the record by 5 pounds apparently?
What?
The guy that was just trying to read his name, that's the mountain from
your Thorensen, right? Is that his name? Thorns?
I must translate into that. I don't know.
Because he goes by Thor, right?
Yeah.
I got his vodka when I went to Iceland. He like sold the vodka there, and I was like, oh, that's cool. So I bought it and I brought it home.
The guy's interesting.
Yeah, I think he lost a bunch of weight to like box.
Yeah.
That's
fucked someone up recently.
Oh, really? I would not want to box that guy. That guy smashed a head with his hands.
Anyway, I saw that, dude.
So
that's why the Mandalorian wears that helmet.
But yeah, you're right. But I don't know. Like, I really want to look more into this. But like, they were talking about all these different types of like diets, whether it be like fruitarianism, veganism. There's one called like breathenism. I think that's breatharianism is a philosophy that believes that the human body, when in its perfect harmony with itself and nature, is a perfect breatharian. It says all the constituents that we need are taken from the air we breathe. What?
Yeah, that's not true.
It says there's only one thing that keeps the human body alive, and that is breathing. The food that we take is the same as any other thing we do into our body that has become a habit. In other words, eating is an acquired habit, just like alcohol or cigarettes. What?
It's not. That's not true.
Imagine having that. Like, I get it. It was the 80s too, so I can't it was kind of a wild time. Like, where people were just trying new things.
Yeah.
But like, God, your life must suck. Actually, no, he was eating Twinkies and fucking burgers, and he was living it up. But everybody else who followed him, who stuck to that diet, fuck, man, that sucks.
Yeah, it's not true.
You guys, eat some Twinkies. It's more fun. What would you rather be? A cult leader or have a little Twinkie?
Well, this guy was doing both, so.
You're right. Oh, man, this guy figured it out. The secret to life. Okay. Okay,
Really
what's your
worked the
next
system.
story?
All right. Robber in Warren asked victim to pinky promise not to report him. So in Warren, Ohio, a robbing victim told police that a man robbed him of $80 and made him pinky promise that he wouldn't call the cops. The 22-year-old victim said he was walking along the street when a robber pulled a knife on him and demanded his money, made their pinkies do the dirty fucking, and then hopped on his bike and took off. Police are still looking for the pinky bandit.
He made him actually wrap his pinky around the pinky?
Yeah.
What?
And they kissed it.
They did not kiss it. They kissed.
They kissed it, and then they kissed each other.
He's like, I got your fucking saliva. You're done, motherfucker. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know if he made him kiss it, but yeah.
Wait, they didn't catch the guy yet, right?
No, he said the victim said it was too dark to see.
Why'd the
criminal.
victim say anything now? Now the victim's gonna die. You can't break a pinky promise.
That's true.
You're
what if
dead.
he just dies?
He just died. They
Can't find a reason. He just
They find him
dies.
dead with his pinkies gone. It's like one of those. It's gonna be like one of those like shitty horror movies that they make that are just like, you know, something like, I mean, not saying it's shitty. I haven't seen it, but like Slender Man, or where it's like, or there's one that's called Countdown, where you download an app and like it tells you when you're gonna die. And then
any horror
you
movie that
actually
revolves
die.
around like a cell phone,
Yeah.
an app. It's like, all right, come on.
It's like, I can't.
We get it. Everybody has one, so it's relatable, but it's not.
I watched like parts of it, and I was like, this is like, I don't know. I think like an executive's like, kids have apps, kids die, let's make it.
I recently watched Antlers.
Dude, I downloaded that. I shouldn't have said that on this podcast. I bought it, and I just haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
Is it good?
Right.
I read the short story.
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's fun. Little Kid's a good actor.
Yeah, I mean, I read the short story, and it was really good. I actually really enjoyed it, but the short story was like 10 pages, so I mean, they got to add some meat to that to make it a full-length movie.
As of recently, I've watched two movies. The first I watched Antlers.
Which is about, you want to give a brief synopsis to the folks?
It's about a Wendigo.
Okay, that's enough.
Um,
I thought you were gonna do like a little bit more of like a cryptic thing where it's I mean, it's called Antlers. Come on, it's got to be about something, right?
yeah.
There's a
No,
beast
it's
in
like
there.
it's like a horror movie.
Yeah.
And then I watched the classic film Stargate, which I hadn't seen since I was a little kid.
SG-1? Is that the show?
That's the show. I'm
What's
talking
Stargate?
about like, the original movie.
Oh, I don't know who's in that. Same people.
Kurt Russell and
I've never seen that.
What's his fucking name? James Spader?
Oh, Robert California
Yeah.
from The Office.
Wow, he looked so different when he was young. Gotta say,
Really? Was he handsome?
he was like a nerdy handsome.
Okay.
But the thing I've really come to realize over the years, and I don't know what it is, children actors were so bad back in the day. You ever think about those like the old movies from like early 90s, 80s, 70s, like the little kids were just so bad. Like there's that little kid like screaming. There's always a little kid like screaming from something
Can I tell you
happening,
why?
and you're like, it's not believable at all.
Can I tell you why they're bad?
Yeah.
Because of casting directors. That's why they're bad. I'm not saying that every kid actor was bad, but I just watched a YouTube video about it's like, where are they now? And it was about, oh my God, I can't remember him. It was the kid from T2, Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Edward something. I can't remember his name. Look it up.
Kid from
But
Star Wars.
he's not in Star Wars. No.
No, I'm saying like I'm just making an example, like the kid who played Anakin in Phantom of the Menace. Like,
Oh yeah. That guy's name's Jake something. Edward T2. What's his fucking name? Edward Furlong. So Edward Furlong. I watched the thing about like where is he now, and he's kind of doing like D-level movies and stuff because he ran into a bunch of problems and stuff like that. But he was apparently a pretty good kid actor. But the way they found him was he was fucking walking around a mall, and a casting director's like, "Hey kid, you look like you have that grungy look we're looking for." They brought him in. James Cameron was like, this kid can't really act. So they gave him acting lessons. And luckily, he turned out to be like a pretty good actor, like as a kid. But I feel like that's how most casting directors fucking like casted children back in the day. They'd be like, hey,
all at the mall.
Yeah, sweet
Everyone's
bowl
at the
cut.
mall.
Yeah, why don't you come over here, read these lines? You're bad. Yeah. Okay, we'll pay somebody to make you kind of good.
See,
right?
my theory is parents.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's that camp of people too. Like, it's not just one note for sure.
See, I feel like back in the day it was like everybody who lived in Los Angeles was like, "Oh, I'm gonna make my kid an actor." But nowadays you got people moving from fucking Oklahoma, shit like that, because they're like, "Oh, my kid's gonna make me a bunch of money," kind of thing.
They're like, in Oklahoma, and they're like, "Yeah, it's either." I'm trying to do an Oklahoma accent. It's either he becomes. It's either he becomes an actor or we all get sucked in a tornado. I mean, it's just like, I get it. I get the dream, but also like, when is it the kid's dream and when is it your dream? And also, does the kid realize that it's not their actual dream? They like watching movies. It's like, like what kid is like, I want to be an actor. I want to be a star. It's like, why? Because I like watching movies. I guess that's why everybody wants to be a fucking movie star. But like, I'm not going to speak for all actors, but it seems like being an actor sucks. It seems like it's like a huge roll of the dice. And even if you do make it, you can lose it all in like 2 seconds. So you could slap someone on stage and become the laughing stock. You know how it goes. You know how being an actor, but sometimes you get slapped, sometimes you do the slapping.
It reminds me of Robert Patterson's.
His name's not Patterson.
Pattinson.
There we go. Say it right.
His.
He got Batman.
His Reddit AMA that was completely unhinged and out of control. And he gave the most unreal answers to questions. But my favorite was like, the question was like, what's your life like outside of acting? And all he replied with was sucks. One word, sucks.
Well, it is Reddit, and I go on Reddit. I know the people that are on Reddit. I'm one of them. I just don't write comments, but I bet he's like, I don't want to do this. Like, dude, the Reddit AMAs are just another fucking publicity thing to sell the movie. He's like, I don't want to. It's probably not even him writing it. It's probably some other guy.
No,
it's probably Edward Furlong.
I think it was him. The other really good one was someone was asking. They said like folded or bunched up, and he commented like 3 times, and he was like, toilet paper ? And then it was like, mittens, and then it was like mummy hand.
Oh my!
I was like, I like this guy. This guy's good.
Yeah, he seems kooky. It's like I there's 2 guys. I was like, oh, these guys are gonna be like my new actors, and one of them was Robert Pattinson. After I saw Good Time, I was like, oh, I fucking love this movie. And the other one was Shia LaBeouf, and then he went and like held a gun to people's heads, and now I'm like, let's see if he bounces back. I'm gonna take a break from Shia, but I still everything he does is pretty interesting. So I just I hope he figures out what the fuck he's doing, because it's kind of kooky.
Yeah, he's a real kooky guy.
Anyway,
you got another news story?
Yeah, I don't want to go. I feel like we spent too long on these already. I'll just read this. I'll read the headline. It says, that's all I got it for anyway.
I saved my best for last.
Okay, this is just the headline. People who haven't contracted COVID-19 yet have no friends, Korean doctor says.
That checks out.
No,
that checks out.
I haven't got it yet.
I haven't either. I have no friends.
Yeah, actually, we just talked about that, didn't we? We don't have friends anymore. David moved. All my friends moved away. I got some cats and a beautiful girlfriend. That's all I need. That's all I need. And a little podcast and you guys and all you guys and gals.
Humble podcast.
Yeah.
Braces, sex pills, fake eyeballs among bizarre New Jersey beach trash.
Eyeball?
Yeah, fake eyeball.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, I've never been to New Jersey, but the beaches there sound beautiful.
I think
I'm just gonna list off a few of these strange items. Found
Okay,
real quick.
I want before you read it. All I can picture right now is the episode of It's Always Sunny when they go to the pier
Oh God.
and they fucking
Jersey Shore.
the Jersey Pier, and that's the rum ham episode where he fucking breaks out the rum ham, and Danny DeVito sits in the sand and he goes and he fucking sits back up and there's a syringe in his back. So
Do you want
good.
you? I'm gonna give you 4 guesses of some of the items I'm gonna list off.
Okay.
Think realistically, what would wash up on the beach in New Jersey?
Definitely a condom.
Okay.
A tank top.
Okay.
Like a pre-workout bottle,
Okay.
or like any kind of like workout supplement bottle or shaker.
Okay. One more.
And lastly, I'm gonna go with the fucking Jersey Mike sub, provolone and Swiss. Just
All
two
right.
just two
Piss all-
cheeses.
Piss all over that sandwich.
Yep, soaked.
So the list we've got here: a hunk of human hair.
What constitute a hunk? Is the scalp attached?
I don't think so, because I feel like that would be a crime scene if a skull was attached.
Oh my god, that's also in the fucking It's Always Sunny episode. Dee gets her hair stuck in the fucking drop zone ride, and it rips her braids out. Makes sense?
A full set of dentures,
Okay.
a thong.
Not sandal or underwear.
It didn't specify. I'm assuming
Probably underwear. Yeah, that's kind of for sure.
A used Narcan kit. You know, the drug that the thing that's used to revive drug overdose victims.
Oh, Narcan. Yeah.
Narcan.
Oh.
Several marijuana bags which were empty. But my question is how isn't that just like
It's called the Ziploc dog.
Yeah, I don't know about that. A bullet casing. Fake eyeball. There was also a parking ticket, a lottery ticket, a glue stick, a mini refrigerator, a toilet brush, a TV remote control, a mason jar filled with what we hope is liquor, a plastic monkey, a set and a set of rosary beads.
Anal rosary beads.
Yeah.
I've been to the Jersey Shore, and it was nice. I don't want to like paint the Jersey Shore as a specific thing because you get that in California too. You get that on many coasts,
Anywhere.
but
Any
it's
coast
just
is like trashy, really.
yeah. But you know what? Like New Jersey's fun because it's like I feel like they embrace it. They know like it's kind of like a Vegas type thing going on there. You know, they got Atlantic City, but like
Really leaning into it.
yeah, they know that like it's fun. You could just kind of make a joke about gym tan laundry. I don't know if they actually really love it, but I feel like they're okay with it. You know, it's just kind of razzing. No one actually dislikes anybody in the Jersey Beach area.
Yeah.
You know, it's fine. You got rum ham. What
Rum
don't
ham.
you love?
It's true.
It's good. Well, that's fun. I like the mini fridge. That's my favorite. I wonder how that got there.
Curious if there's anything in it.
Rum ham.
I bet a rum ham in there.
Anyway, I think we're caught up on any of the weird news. So should we go into our long stories?
Let's do it.
Oh God, David and I, you guys are probably looking at the timestamp right now, and you realize this is a long one because David has told me he has a long episode, and I also do. So we're gonna try to get through this somewhat quick, but
Yeah,
man,
mine got unreasonably long because I didn't expect it to, and it just kind of kept going. One of those things. So
too.
yeah.
Like I didn't even cover everything. It gets so crazy. But
No.
okay, let's get into this. Now, David, have you ever left a review on an Amazon item before?
Oh yeah.
Really? Explain
Oh, yeah.
yourself.
I can pull it up actually if you want me to.
You got okay. If it's a good one, is it a good one, or is it just going to be like good handle, sharp blade?
I think I've had some decent ones. How do I even look this up?
Well, as you're looking it up, I'll explain to you right now. I mean, and you don't even have to, but I just want to say, well, today I want to talk to you about a man who is not only an Amazon review leaver, but also a serial killer. Are they related? It's hard to say. But this particular man didn't just leave reviews for products he liked or disliked. He would leave twisted clues to his actual sinister intentions with said Amazon products. As today, we dive into the story of the Amazon Review Killer.
Okay. I have never heard anything about this.
So I feel like the Amazon reviews are not really the most important thing about the crime, but it's more of like one of those catchy things where it's just one of those monikers, you know what I mean? Sorry, I'm tired.
See, I love Amazon reviews. I love to look up really silly shit and then look at the pictures. Like I like to look up silly sunglasses and look at the photos of like the user photos.
Not only who bought these, but who left a review for them, right?
Well, no, I like seeing the photos of them wearing the silly shit.
Oh, I see. No, that makes sense. Okay. But this guy obviously was not leaving any photos since he was straight up murdering people. But let's get into it. Todd Colehep was born on March 7th, 1971 in Florida and was raised in South Carolina and Georgia. His parents divorced when he was 2, and he would end up living with his mother and stepfather for the majority of his childhood. Apparently, Todd had an unhealthy relationship with his stepfather and constantly wanted to be with his biological father, who he had not seen for 8 straight years. But that was the least of his worries, as Todd would constantly have issues in school, even from a young age. Apparently, he would get in fights with his stepdad, and I guess his stepdad would beat him, which is not very good. And also, like, his biological dad, like, being gone for 8 straight years is, it's problematic. You know, you gotta be there for the child. But yeah, Todd was wreaking havoc in school because even in nursery school, Todd was known to be aggressive toward other children and would destroy their property. At the age of 9, when he started undergoing counseling, Colehep was described as being explosive and preoccupied with sexual conduct. Wow. Sound familiar, David?
No.
He also displayed cruelty to animals, shooting a dog with a BB gun, and killing a goldfish with Clorox bleach.
Okay.
I mean, little bleach never hurt nobody, right?
Just
like
trying to clean the fish. The fish was filthy.
It stinks like shit. It's got that little dangly tail of shit coming out his asshole.
The shit stuck, Mama. I gotta put the bleach in the water.
Folded or bunched up? Come on, fish. You gotta wipe your asshole. What you doing?
Go ahead, rub it on one of them leaves on the fake plant.
Oh, come on. Wipe it on the top of SpongeBob's house. I see it in there. I see it. Actually, go do it over on Squidward. So Todd Colehep's biological father once stated that the only emotion his son was capable of feeling was anger. Good dad.
Yeah, that's a good dad.
That's a good daddy. That's a good daddy.
Yeah.
And because of that, Todd spent 3.5 months in a Georgia psychiatric hospital as an inpatient because of his inability to get along with other children. So he had to go to the shrink because like, one thing you're going to find out about this guy is, like, he's always been fucking pessimistic. It's so weird. Like, he hates everybody. He's always hated everybody. And you're like, okay, calm down. So at the age of 12, Todd finally went to go live with his father in Arizona, where he would take his father's surname, begin to do odd jobs around town, and even begin to pick up the same hobbies as his father, including collecting weapons and building bombs.
Okay, that's fun.
That's an Arizona daddy, if I ever heard one.
Yeah.
Arizona daddy.
That heat gets to you.
He's off the grid. He's got some guns and he's building a bomb with his kid. Arizona daddy, he's kinda crazy. The heat's gone to his head and he's gonna go kidnap a baby.
Oh, man, I'm just grooving over here.
Arizona daddy.
On iTunes.
It's on Live Leak. So, like I said, just weapons and bombs. And I think his dad was like, okay, that's just like desert shit, you know? That's what you do out there, you know? It's just kind of like you just doing desert shit.
Yeah, the whole
Kidnapping
desert.
babies. So, although for a short period of time, Todd was finally living the life he wanted, that changed rather quickly when Todd's father began to spend less time with Todd and more time with a number of girlfriends. Arizona Daddy, he's got a lot of girlfriends. They're all named Candy, and they like to drink at bars and in parking lots. But you know how
Still vibing over here. I'm having a good time.
So, but yeah, he got a lot of girlfriends. It's pretty cool. They all look like leather handbags too, probably. You know.
Oh yeah.
So,
gecko tattoo.
That's from It's Always Sunny too, dude. Desert trash. So, we thought she was High Plains trash. She's desert trash. I saw a gecko tattoo from a mile away.
It's an easy mistake.
So, Todd now wanted to go back with his mother, but Mommy always came up with an excuse to why he had to stay with Arizona Daddy.
Yeah.
You know, it's cold here. You're used to the heat. Oh, spring training's starting soon.
You can't lizard out over here, little guy.
Yeah. Who's gonna blow up all them cats with them bottle rockets? So
who's gonna get the scales off your nose hole?
so on November 25th, 1986, 15-year-old Todd kidnapped a 14-year-old girl in Tempe, Arizona. Okay, here we go. This is not great. Just to kind of paint the picture, once again, I got to preface this with, like, we make jokes and stuff, but these crimes are real and they're horrible, but, like, we got to make light of them somehow, but we feel very bad for everybody that's involved, and it's horrible. So, except for Todd, we don't feel bad for him. So, he threatened her with a .22 caliber revolver, brought her back to his home, tied her up, taped her mouth shut, and then proceeded to, rape her. Afterwards, he walked her home and threatened to kill her younger siblings if she told anyone about what had happened. Todd was charged with kidnapping, sexual assault, and committing a dangerous crime against children. In 1987, he pled guilty to the kidnapping charge, and the other charges were dropped, which is so fucking ass backwards. I'd be like, kidnapping is the least of our problems. He held a gun to my head and then raped me. It's like, what the, it's. I'm not going to get into, like, the whole legal system and how, like, there used to be a, what's the term I'm looking for? Like, after 7 years.
Pardon?
No. Oh. Statute of limitations.
Ah.
So, like, after 7 years, you, like, couldn't be convicted for, like, a rape that you committed. And I'm like, no, that's life. They can get you 50 years later. Like, I don't care. You know what I mean? It does not make sense.
The deed's been done.
It's horrible. So, like he said, so in 1987, he pled guilty to the kidnapping charge, and the charges were dropped. He was sentenced to 15 years in prison and registered as a sex offender. At least, like, that happened. I thought they were just going to be like kidnapping, like, 3 months in the slammer, But, like, no, 15 years and a sex offender. And according to court records, Todd was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and had an above-average IQ of 118. I don't know my IQ.
I think I got like a 6.
Yeah? Don't you get like I heard
number.
Don't you get like
it's
20,
like golf, right?
Don't you get like 20 points for writing your name on the paper? Like the
No,
SAT?
That's the SAT, man. I'm pretty sure it's like golf. The lower the better.
Oh.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Getting to those negatives. Okay. So, the judge in the case said Todd was very bright and should be advanced academically, but behaviorally and emotionally dangerous, and likely could not be rehabilitated. That's good news. The kid's fucking broken.
There's no going back. There's no fixing.
There's no amount of duct tape that's gonna put that kid back together. That kid's fucked. The check engine light's been on, and I don't have the money. I really don't. I'm riding this out till it just breaks and falls apart.
Yeah.
So, Todd's probation officer wrote a similar description in the court papers and added that he felt the world owed him something. That's a problem when you're, like, really smart and also a complete sociopath asshole, right?
Yeah.
So Todd's attorney in that case later went on to say that while defending him, he did not believe his client would go on to harm others in the future.
Oh, sure.
During his imprisonment, Todd was initially cited for violations that included some violent behavior, but after turning 20, however, he had no other records of disobedience, which eventually resulted in his release in 2001 at the age of 30 after having served 14 years behind bars. So he served out like almost his entire sentence. And, I guess they thought he was rehabilitated. But, like, you got to kind of listen. It reminds me of, like, Halloween, where they're like, Michael Myers, like, he can't be saved. His soul belongs to the devil. There's nothing behind those eyes. Like, I mean, maybe sometimes you got to listen to the crazy psychiatrist Loomis, because he knows what he's talking about. He's like, I've never seen anybody that fucking evil, and I've watched Young Sheldon. Oh, God, I watched Young Sheldon. Right?
Is that show still on?
Yeah, the kid's older now. He's middle-aged Sheldon now.
Mortgage Sheldon.
What'd you say?
Mortgage Sheldon.
Mortgage Sheldon. Getting divorced Sheldon. Sheldon, I don't love you anymore.
Your chemical imbalances are off.
You can't even get it up, you fucking loser. Oh yeah? Bazinga. Just kidding. ED's solvable problem. The today's sponsor is Blue Pill Chew. Blue Chew. Boner. So, after Todd's release, he moved back to South Carolina, where his mother was, and began to get into academics. Gonna turn his life around, 1 A+ at a time. In prison, he earned a bachelor's degree in computer science, and a couple years later earned a bachelor's of science degree in business administrative marketing. All while working at a graphic design company, as a graphic designer at a company called Spartanburg. That's right, I put you on blast, Spartanburg. I left the colleges out of it, but Spartanburg, you got it. Hire a killer, you sons of bitches. Just kidding. Don't sue me. So, he even
know what that is.
Obviously a graphic design company. Is Spartanburg still around? Let me see. Spartanburg.
Gotta do some rebranding after this, huh?
Oh, it's a city in South Carolina. Wait, company. Did you fucking name your company after the town? Spartanburg Meat Processing Company. Spartanburg Steel Products. Nope. I think it's gone.
They gotta rebrand.
He was in Spartanburg. I don't know. But sorry, Spartanburg, the town. I didn't mean it. He even got a real estate license, built a firm, and became a top seller in the Carolina region. All while, of course, hiding his registered sex offender background, which is illegal. So, soon he got caught for lying and was arrested, forcing him to shut down his firm. So that's the problem. Doesn't matter how smart you are, once you become a registered sex offender, it's real hard to get a business off the ground.
Yeah, it kind of screws you over.
David knows.
Yeah.
Give some advice.
You move to a different country.
Yes. One where they don't know the word sexual or offender.
Or the one that just doesn't really care.
David, if you say country, we're shutting the podcast down. Don't say any countries.
I'm not gonna say it.
Gildenstein. so that's a real. It's gonna be a real country. I'm fucked. So Todd then began to buy large amounts of property and even acquired a private pilot license. Like I said, this dude was like smart and he seemed like pretty motivated, which is like. It's kind of like Ted Bundy-esque, where it's like you excel at something, and when you do that, it really masks the serial killer vibes. I mean, they come through a little bit, but like Ted Bundy was like handsome and charming. And
such a hunk.
He was
God.
Strangle me to death, please.
He was a husky.
He was a husky. Go Washington State? University of Washington. Wait, he wasn't a husky, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he killed people in Oregon.
No, I think he was mostly in the Seattle area.
Oh, my bad. So, like I said, this dude was like smart. So like he got like a private pilot license. He earned money. He was like pretty wealthy. He bought property. He soon became very productive. He soon became very very protective of his land and decided to build an $80,000 fence around his 100-acre piece of land that was just 8 miles from his home. In his interactions with people from work and before I get into this, so he bought a huge piece of land that was like 8 miles from his house, and then he like I said, this dude had money, which is like, this is the most horrible thing I've ever said, but like, hey, you guys, even if you like mess up, you can still turn your life around. This guy was like holding guns to people's heads and like doing horrible shit, and like I guess he was still, which makes me feel bad. Because I never held a gun to anyone's head, and I don't have that much money to buy that kind of land.
I've only done it like 3 times, and I don't have that much money.
You have all that land, though, that you buried all those people on.
I don't own that land.
So, but yeah, I guess this is a,
Imagine if that was like a real thing, like 5 years from now, I get arrested for killing and burying people
on other people's land.
That was my confession was right there.
Yeah, dude, that's what this guy did.
No one's gonna hear it anyway.
No, because they think it's a joke. I'm not trying to say you're a murderer. I just mean like this guy, when he wrote his Amazon reviews, people were like, "It's a fucking joke." Like it's crazy people on Amazon. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
So, I mean, it could have been you. It could have been like you writing the same thing as this guy. You know? Oh, well, you are a killer. Never mind. So I'll back that up. So, like I said, in his interactions with people from work and business, described him in various ways. The woman who sold him his home described him as extremely outgoing and professional, but noted that he would often talk about his firearms and sometimes subtly use sexual innuendos during their conversation. I give that a pass. Little unprofessional for when you're buying a house, but like, and a little immature, but like, that's like kind of okay. Coworkers described him as angry and condescending towards her partner, and that he often would watch pornographic videos at work. Okay.
I mean, who doesn't?
Okay, yeah. That still passes. You pass. So,
it's when you get caught that's the problem.
He's watching it, not knowing that his screen faces the entire office. He's like
got the headphones on, but they're unplugged, so he doesn't know it.
He's the dude at the public library on Pornhub. It's like, dude, I've seen like multiple videos of people filming people in public libraries, and like this old guy's just straight up watching porn.
Yeah, it's always the public library.
Hell yeah. I can't believe they don't even have a block on that, but whatever. So even people at the local Waffle House, which is a Waffle House, and you know what happens at Waffle Houses.
Fights.
Said that he disturbed the female waitresses so much that the male cook had to come out and take his order when he did come in. One of these women would be Megan Lee McCraw Coxey, which would end up being one of Todd's victims later. So now let's get into the main crime that really, got him caught and convicted, and the main thing that he's known for. So on August 31st, 2016, so pretty recent, Kayla Brown, 30 years old, and her boyfriend Charles David Carver, 32, went missing after they went to clean Todd's residence to get some extra cash for their new home and expenses. They had just bought a new home. They just moved in together after honestly a couple months of knowing each other, which is kind of interesting. But they just moved in together, and they wanted to, get some extra money for stuff around the house. So she knew him from she knew him from another person who was like, I know this guy. He's kind of weird. He was a realtor, but he has a big property, and sometimes he hires people to do stuff around his property. So they were missing for a few days with no responses from either of them until interest in their disappearance increased when posts from Charles Carver's Facebook account began to come out. So a lot of people went, they went somewhere, they're missing, they're going to come up. They probably just are not answering phones, or they have no cell service, they're camping, something like that. But then all of a sudden his Facebook started going off. So Charles' account began to share images from other meme profiles, such as a picture reading, "Sometimes late at night, I dig a hole in my backyard to keep the nosy neighbors guessing."
Okay.
So he shared, like those shitty meme pages where they just like, it's like parent humor where they just like put those things, and it's like a fucking minion eating pizza and laughing at a TV and be like, me watching Democrats try to fuck a donut. Because conservatives, they know how to fuck the donut. But words. It's just like, like, and it's very cryptic too. You're like, what? Like, especially knowing what he did later. You're like, that's horrifying. Yeah. He also changed his cover photo. You're gonna love this, David. To a picture the picture of the Joker and Harley Quinn kissing.
Oh yeah.
Like they're like making out like romantic. They both like be looking good, and there's like the bat signal in the back. It's kind of sexy. Oh, yeah. Okay. He also posted a picture of the final lyrics to the song Hotel California, reading, "The last thing I remember was running for the door. I had to find the passage back from the place I was before. Relax, said the night man. We are programmed to receive. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave."
Okay.
You want me to sing it?
Yeah, that'll help.
Last thing I remember, I was running.
Please don't.
They're rolling in their grave. Don Henley's rolling in his grave right now. So once again, like super fucking creepy, and that'll come back. The whole Hotel California thing will come back for a second, but so people began to comment on these posts and send him DMs, or who they thought was Charlie. They started sending him DMs asking where Kayla was and who is this? But the user just pretended to be Charles and acted as if nothing was wrong. He even posted an old picture of the couple together with the comment, "We're fine." But it was like an old picture. And everyone's like, this is from like fucking months ago. Kayla and Charles, what's so funny?
No,
what's so fucking funny, bitch?
It's just funny to like try to hide shit and post an old picture.
Yeah, this guy was like caught between trying to like play it off and hide it, and then trying to taunt people. Like he was obviously trying to taunt people.
Yeah.
Because he was like, "I'm so smart. Watch this. Ha 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 ha. They'll never catch me." But then he was also just like kind of like showing all of his cards, which is very weird. Like, why the fuck would you do that? So Kayla and Charles' friends were extremely livid and worried at this point, demanding to know where they were in the comment section of every post. They just kept posting like, "Where are they, you asshole? Like, who is this? Like I know you you did something," and like, just like weird shit like that. And this guy was just like, "I'm Charles. I'm fine." Not like escalating at all, just giving like very mundane answers. And if they pressed him too much, he would just like stop responding. Yeah, exactly. So friends of Todd began to so now it's Todd. So friends of Todd began to DM Todd as well, with the missing persons posters accompanied by a WTF comment. So like, in his DMs, big WTF and like the missing persons poster. And Todd began to play dumb and say that they probably took a trip for the long weekend and that they were probably fine. He also played dumb about knowing them, saying things like, "I think she was a friend of she was friends with an old ex or something." He would just like be like, "She looks familiar," but like everybody in the town was like, "What the fuck? These people are missing." And they knew that like he probably had some kind of like connection with her or something, Maybe like his friends secretly knew. That's why they were sending it, you know?
I'm trying to get him to confess or
or like, "Hey man, can you give me like say something so I could like tell the police?" But he never broke. So on his own personal profile, he began to like and share posts about Kayla and Charles missing, and even promoted a fundraiser to hire a private investigator. Like I said, this guy's like, he's taunting, but only for himself. He's like, "Ha ha ha, I know the truth, and look at me. I'm fooling everybody. They think I'm a good person. I know what's actually going on."
He's horny for the power of truth.
The power of truth?
What? because he knows the truth, but no one
Oh,
else
I
does.
see. I see what you mean. Okay. I thought that he just like he wants the truth. I'm like he
No.
no.
He knows it.
Oh yeah, I get it. So he also wrote long posts complaining about missing people. Oh no, I'm sorry. He wrote long posts about complaining about missing people, as in people who are missing, and how they are usually found at the beach or with their paroled boyfriends, and that no one would ever take him because he is crabby and eats too much, and they would most likely bring him back because of that. He fucking wrote that shit.
He's an interesting fella.
I got gas. They would never put me in their car. I'd probably fart them out. I'd probably have them drive off a cliff because their fucking vision's full of fart cloud. You're like, shut up. So he also wrote...
Did he have a history on drugs at all, or just...
No, honestly, he wasn't like... I don't think he was like a big drinker or drug user. I think he was like I said, he was like a smart dude who was like really motivated for some reason in like business and shit. So he had a lot of money. He wasn't like a burnout. He was like, he had all that property. He built a giant fence. He had like a house 8 miles away. Like he was doing well.
Yeah.
So he was like meticulous. It's really weird. So he also wrote about wanting Ebola to wipe out half of the population because people would cut him off while driving or block the grocery aisles while they were looking for their natty light, or you know what I mean, something like that. He would like he hated everything and everybody. He was like a miserable person and like a super big pessimist, basically, you know. So
like you said earlier.
Exactly. So what actually happened to the couple was information that only Todd, Kayla, and Charles knew. Apparently, when Kayla and Charles showed up to the 100-acre plot of land with Todd walked into a shed to grab some tools as Kayla and Charles waited outside. Like, they were going to do, like, you know, help move rocks and debris and clear some brush and just, you know, get some extra money. She's like, this guy's rich. He has land. He'll pay us to, like, do some, like, fun outdoor, you know, bullshit. When he emerged a few minutes later, though, he was holding a gun and proceeded to immediately fire 3 shots into the chest of Charles, killing him. He then took Kayla, placed her in handcuffs, and walked her into a storage container on the property where she was chained up even more by the neck, wrist, and ankles. What I guess like he would do he would keep her in there for like 20 hours of the day, and then like for 2 hours he would take her to like this other house where he had more chains and in this bedroom, and he would do horrible things. And you know, I know this is, like I said, I don't like to, you know, make light about this stuff, but he said she confessed in an interview that he told her, he's like, I don't believe in raping people. He's like, I don't like rape. I don't believe in rape. And he's like, I want you to want to have sex with me. But then he also mentioned in like a comment right after that if I'm not having sex with you, I have no use for you. So he's basically like, I either get to do this or I'm going to murder you. And that's what the police said. He's like, that was... They asked him like, they asked him what like the worst thing about the investigation was, and they said like that amount of evil just to like say something like that or do something like that, and like, you know, that like you said, that manipulation of being like, oh no, because he thought he had the moral high ground. He's like, oh, I don't rape people, I don't do that. You want to do this, but I'll also murder you, and it's like crazy shit. By the way, all of this, I'll get into it, but this shit's online. Like, I'll get it. Let me just keep going because it's crazy. So, I mean, like videos. So, not of that, but of other stuff. So, on November 3rd, 2016, investigators found that the couple's cell phones last ping on Todd's property and that they had never left. So, the police went to Todd's home to speak with him and search his home. What Todd didn't know was, while speaking with him, the police were at his other property 8 miles away, searching the property, where they first found the house that was the sex dungeon, which was like a mattress, a couple things in there, and then like they found the chains connected to the wall with like the other like metal brackets and stuff. And then they went into the bathroom and they found like reddish brown hair in the trash can in there. So he would also like give her a bottle of water and be like, "Here, clean yourself off with this bottle of water." You know, like crazy, like power move, like weird shit. But that's when they're like, "Oh my god, like what's going on here?" But then they saw the storage container. As they approached, they could hear banging and yelling from someone inside. Authorities had to cut 5 heavy padlocks off the container and found Brown inside, chained to the wall. Like I said, there is actual footage of the cutting of the locks, the opening of the door as the cameraman walks in, and she's literally chained to a wall sitting on a bed, like super calm and just like, and then she starts like confessing like all the shit that he's been telling her and all this stuff, and she's like miraculously so calm. And it's absolutely crazy. I'll tell you what it's called, what the video is called. This guy did like an amazing documentary on it. But she also told them that Todd would tell her that, I'm sorry. Let me go back. I think I jumped a line. So as they get in, she begins telling them everything that Todd has said to her about the bodies on the property and that red pepper flakes coated the entire property or where the bodies were to throw off the search dogs of the scent. And you hear the cop being like, "Tell the canine unit that, tell the canine unit that," like as she's saying this. She also told them that Todd would tell her that Stockholm Syndrome would soon kick in and that he wanted to build her a soundproof room to live in long term. He would also brag about being a serial killer and that he wanted to get his body count into the 3 digits. And he said it was just in like the 20s right now, which I don't know if that was 100% true. But he would also tell her that he wanted to teach her how to kill and that she would eventually become his partner. Fucking crazy. And the craziest thing is, like I said, the footage of like them walking in and like freeing her, it's all like live, like I mean like it's real footage of them like in the moment. It's not after the fact. And once I get down to the name of the video, you guys can go look it up. But once the discovery was found of Kayla, they radioed the investigators with Todd and immediately arrested him for kidnapping. And like I said, they have body cams and they have footage of him getting arrested and telling him what they found. But like I said, he just plays dumb as they confronted him. This confrontation and rescue was all on tape as well. Check out the disturbing case of the Amazon review killer to see it, or just like Google it. I don't know if you could just Google it, but the video is called "The Disturbing Case of the Amazon Review Killer." I wrote the page's name down a little bit further, so we'll get to that. So 2 bodies were discovered on Todd's property following his arrest on November 6th and 7th. They were later identified. Like I said, they also found Charles's body and his car on the property. When they found 2 more people later identified as husband and wife Johnny Joe Coxey, 29, and Megan Lee McCraw Coxey, 26, residents of Spartanburg, who were reported missing on December 22nd, 2015. This was the Waffle House employee, the woman was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So they were allegedly hired by Todd to work on his property. McCaw Coxey had been killed by a gunshot wound to the head on December 25th or 26th on Christmas, while the man, Coxey, had been killed a week earlier by a gunshot wound to the torso. According to the county coroner, they were identified through their extensive tattoos. So they also have a lot of interrogation footage, and he goes on to explain every single situation, and they can't really take his explanation at face value, but basically he was like, I brought them to the property. They were both heroin addicts, and he knew that, and he was like, I brought them to the property. When I went in the shed to go get something, I came back out. He pulled a knife on me. She wasn't surprised, so I knew that this was a setup. I brought them there. They saw what kind of car I drove. They saw how much land I had. They knew I was rich, and they wanted to take it from me. So I immediately shot him twice in the chest. He fell down, dropped the knife on his chest. He dropped the knife, fell down on his chest. I went behind him, and I shot him through the spinal column. And he's like, and then I took her and, did
all that
horrible.
nasty business.
Yeah, and then the cops like, I don't like really know if they
They're like,
actually.
well, that's not self-defense. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean,
Half of that
regardless.
is.
But that's the thing. They don't even know if he's telling the truth. He could have
Yeah,
made that up. And
absolutely.
they're like, "Where's his knife?" And he's like, "I don't keep stuff like that. I threw it away." And they're like, "Okay, yeah, sure." So maybe he was trying to paint himself. Like I said, he has to morally paint himself into the right side of things. He can't be a rapist. He can't be a murderer. It's self-defense. She had sex with him. It was willing. You know what I mean? It's how they rationalize it so they can sleep at night in a weird way.
Yeah.
So, anyway, after they kept digging into Todd's life, they also found some other interesting stuff, including more murders from prior years. I'll try to wrap this up pretty quick. This is just another weird thing that happened. So one strange thing. Oh, here are the Amazon reviews. One strange thing they found was Amazon reviews he left on different objects that told the story of exactly what was going down, what he was going to do with such items. On a master padlock review, he wrote, "Solid locks. Having 5 on a shipping container won't stop them, but will slow them down until they are too old to care." He also left a review on a knife reading, "Haven't stabbed anyone yet, ... yet, ... but I am keeping the dream alive, and when I do, it will be with a quality tool like this." Also, on a trench shovel, he wrote, which is a small shovel, "Keep in car for when you have to hide the bodies and you left the full-size shovel at home. Does not come with midget, which would have been nice." And on a chainsaw, he wrote, "Works excellent. Getting the neighbor to stand still while you chase him with it is hard enough without having an easy-to-use chainsaw." Lastly, on another group of locks, he wrote, "Now my locks have locks. Places Hotel California now." You could check out any time you want, but you can never leave.
That's wild.
Isn't that fucking crazy? But that's what they're saying. They're like, most people would read that and go, "Ha, oh, this guy was trying to be funny. He left a shithead review, troll."
Edgy comment.
Exactly. And you're like, "Oh, okay, cool." But he was like, for how smart he was still like kind of fucking dumb. I don't know how to explain it. Like the shit he wrote was like
It's a full circle. He was so smart that he was dumb.
Yeah, like he's not witty. He wasn't witty. He wasn't like the jokes weren't fucking good. Like he went on Facebook and would like share pictures of the Joker. It wasn't even like cryptic. It wasn't even like Riddler, like.
And to be honest, his actions weren't even that Joker-ish. They,
No, hardly. How dare you bring the Joker down like that, baby?
I'm the Joker, baby.
Oh, welcome to the hotel. I'm trying to do like a Joker singing Eagles. I can't do it. Welcome to the Hotel California.
That's good.
Yeah, that's not bad. So, as for his other crimes, though, on November 6, 2003, which was like, he got out of prison in 2001. So 2 years after, or 2000, 3 years after he got out of prison, a customer found 4 people shot dead inside Superbike Motorsports, a motorcycle shop in Chesney. The victims were identified as owner Scott Ponder, 30, service manager Brian Lucas, 29, mechanic Chris Sherbert, 26, and bookkeeper Beverly Guy, 52, who was Ponder's mother. So the last one was a lady. So all 4 died from multiple gunshot wounds. Before Todd confessed to the shootings in 2016, investigators believed that the gunman, armed with a pistol, entered the shop from the back and killed Sherbert as he worked. He then killed Guy in the middle of the showroom, Lucas at the main doorway, and Ponder in the parking lot. According to Ponder's wife, Todd was a disgruntled customer who had been in the shop several times. According to Todd's mother, he attempted to return a motorcycle there, but the employees laughed at him, would not return the money he had paid for the motorcycle, and embarrassed him for not knowing how to ride one. That's not very Joker, baby. You can't ride a motorcycle. Yeah. Sometimes they always say the customer's right, but that's just because like sometimes they're fucking lunatics who can't fucking take a little criticism.
Yeah.
Well, he probably went in like cocky as fuck.
He was sitting on the damn thing backwards and came in.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, God, like that's what I'm saying is like, you know, he thought he couldn't he thought he was better than everybody, and like you said, the world owed him something. He was smarter than everybody. So when somebody like slighted him, he was probably like, "Fuck off." And maybe that was what happened with the waitress. Maybe she was like, "I don't want to talk to him." He's like, "You think I'm creepy? Watch this," you know, some shit like that.
I'll show you creepy.
Exactly. So this kind of wraps it up. Todd pleaded guilty to 7 counts of murder, 2 counts of kidnapping, and 1 count of criminal sexual assault, and was sentenced to 7 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole in a plea bargain that spared him from capital punishment. Although his defense swore at his sentencing, that there were no other victims to be found, Todd has since repeatedly admitted that there were at least 2 other murders that he didn't tell them about. As of August 2018, he has yet to give authorities the details. Todd is currently in prison in the Broad River Correctional Institution. Where is that? Where is this? Oh wait, where is this? So this is in South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina. And in August 2020, some of Todd's belongings went to auction, and the proceeds were donated to the victims' families, which is, I guess, the only silver lining. But I have a question. Who the fuck is buying a murderer's, like, tools? But did they also know that it was a murderer's tools? Like, did they take, like, all of his shovels and go, "Hey, we got shovels here," and someone's like, 55, 55, 55, 55, and then he's like, "Cool, I got like a fucking shovel," and then like that buried a guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
do you shop at Goodwill?
You know what? Fuck, wearing dead people's clothing, maybe. So just to wrap this up, I said, this story is so long and complicated, and there's a lot of strange things said that I couldn't cover. Like, you know, he just, like I said, the interrogation, he says so many fucking strange things about everything. You know, like his last request, his request before he got arrested, he's like, I want to call my mother, and I want to transfer a bunch of money into my friend's child's bank account for college. And then he was like, sitting there, and he's like, it's kind of funny. I'm actually helping you guys solve this crime. I'm kind of tying up the loose ends. Like,
it's all about him.
Exactly. He's like bragging once. He's like, fuck, like, I'm awesome. I'm helping you guys. Like, you couldn't do this without me. And they're like, we wouldn't have to do this if you fucking weren't doing it, bitch. Anyway, so like I said, but if you want to watch an 1.5-hour doc about the case, on YouTube, go check out The Disturbing Case of the Amazon Review Killer by Explore With Us. The channel's called Explore With Us. He did a great job and has tons of detail and all this footage, and I highly, highly recommend it just for the footage alone. It's not like disturbing or anything in that sense. I mean, it is, but not like graphic. Like they have like a grinder, and they're cutting into like these locks, and you can see like these 5 padlocks, and they're so thick, and you're just like, this is insane. I feel like most of the time when we hear about these murderers and stuff, you just like maybe see some grainy pictures or some news coverage, but in 2016 with body cam footage, you're seeing them rescue this woman in real time, and it's the most insane thing ever. It's like baffles me. But
I can't believe I didn't hear anything about that.
I know, it's I know, it's 2016. It's like, it's pretty recent.
Yeah.
You know? So, I don't know, man. It's wild, and I highly suggest checking that out.
Right on.
Amazon Review Killer.
Alrighty, Tobin. Today we're going to talk about a modern-day curse. A curse that has haunted many millionaires nearly every year since the year 1988.
Whoa.
Want to take a swing at what that curse is?
Have something to do with like the stock market or something?
No.
Every millionaire. Something about
Not
like
every millionaire, but
some.
it only affects millionaires, as far as I'm aware.
Something about like their yacht crashing or some shit.
No.
Oh, then I don't know.
Today we're going to talk about the Madden curse.
What is that?
Are you not aware of the Madden curse?
Is that like John Madden?
Yeah.
Oh, the video game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So for our listeners who are unaware, John Earl Madden was a Super Bowl winning coach, a 12-time Emmy Award winner.
Emmys? What? Oh, I guess that's... I didn't know they gave out Emmys for like sports commentary.
Yeah. He was a long-time like sports announcer for football. The 1984 NSMA National Sportscaster of the Year, Yahoo's number 2 of sports top 50 all-time network TV announcers, the 2002 Pete Rozelle Radio Television Award winner. He is in the Bay Area Sports Hall of Fame, Pro Football Hall of Fame, California Hall of Fame, and the NSMA Hall of Fame.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but when he won the Super Bowl with the Raiders, right?
Yeah.
Were they undefeated? Or was that Mike Ditka with the Bears? That was Mike Ditka with the Bears, wasn't it?
There was a Bears team that was undefeated. There was a Dolphins team that was undefeated.
It wasn't Raiders, huh?
But I don't know if that Raiders team was undefeated or not.
It's kind of weird for me to think that John Madden coached the Raiders and that the Raiders were good. I don't mean that for any Raiders fans. I just mean like it's so weird. It's so like alien.
Well, I mean,
to
he
me.
coached like way before our lifetime, so
Yeah.
John Madden had an incredible career and contributed so much to the game of football and sports, worldwide until he passed away at the end of last year, December 28th. Yeah, December 28th, 2021, at the age of 85.
Wait, but you also forgot his biggest accomplishment,
which was
tough acting, tenactin'.
Oh, I was gonna say, wasn't he in Little Giants?
Oh shit, was he?
I swear he had a cameo in that movie. I loved that movie when I was a kid.
Boom! Icebox! I'm gonna fucking lay you. I can't even do a John Madden. Frank Caliendo does a really good John Madden.
I mean, who doesn't he do?
Boom! John Madden! I cannot.
John Madden was such a... I already read that part. Oh, wait, no, he didn't. No, I didn't. It's just similar to what I said before. John Madden was such an influential person in the world of football that the main NFL video game franchise would use his name, naming the games after him, saying that, they are Madden, typically with the upcoming season at the tail ends, like Madden, like 96 or something like that.
I remember the Nintendo versions where it's like 8 like pixels, and the view of the field was from the 50-yard. It was like the side view of the field.
Yeah.
And oh man, those are really crazy. My grandma had the Super Nintendo, and playing on it was just like wild compared to like what we have now with like the just the hit stick alone. I mean, Jesus Christ, what a modern marvel.
Well, it's funny to look at like people like Tom Brady or LeBron James when you look at like their character in their first video game appearance to like today and how like insane the graphics like have advanced.
Yeah, they're like N64 cube pointy polygons and shit, Yeah.
So this game's franchise released its first installment, John Madden Football, in 1988. Wow. For the Apple II series computer, and has continued to release yearly installments with updated rosters since, which is honestly kind of a joke at this point.
People still buy it.
There's just do one every like 5 years and just update the rosters. I won't get into that. So what does all of this have to do with a curse? Well, it has been established that there is a bizarre trend that when a player is featured on the cover of the game, something terrible will happen to them in that upcoming season. So let's take a look at these. We're going to start where the curse really gets going, and that would be Madden 99.
Whoa. Can I guess who's on the cover of that? Would I even know?
Absolutely.
99. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Brett Favre.
No. This year's game cover was featuring Garrison Hurst.
Oh, big Garrison, big Gary Hurst fan. I don't know who that is. Nope.
You should. He played for your team, a running back for the San Francisco 49ers.
Really?
Niners!
Why don't I know him?
I didn't know him either, so don't worry about it.
Is he, I know this might be controversial. Is he black or white?
Black.
Okay. I only know, just the big
He's a
one.
running back.
Well, I wasn't watching.
In the NFL.
I wasn't. Yeah, I know. But they got Wes Welker and shit like that, right? He's tiny too.
He was
He's
a receiver.
Was he? Wes
Yeah.
Welker?
Yeah.
Oh.
He was a slot receiver. I'm sure he lined up in the backfield a few times, but no, he was a slot receiver. But
no,
nowadays we got Christian McCaffrey, and that's about it.
Yeah, dude, I don't know nothing. I'm so sports illiterate. It's crazy. But even in the 99, I definitely wasn't watching sports then. But the only names I knew back then were Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, Steve Young. Those were the guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
And then when I was a child, Terrell Owens, he was the fucking shit.
Oh yeah.
Dickhead though, big dickhead.
Yeah, a little bit. So Hurst, I think that's how you pronounce it. Hurst was in his second year after he had gained the most yards in a single season for the franchise. Also tacking on one of the longest runs at the time in the NFL history. So he had one big old run. But after being featured that upcoming season, he continued to have a great career and lead his team to the playoffs until he suffered a terrible broken ankle in the second round of the playoffs.
No.
And
why is it always playoffs too?
Oh yeah, it's always
what it matters.
But with a side effect from surgery complications, one of the bones in his foot died.
Wait,
and
what?
And it was believed he would never play again.
Wait. First off, bone can die?
Yeah, there's cells inside of your bones that they can die, and then
there's
the bone go bad.
There's blood. Yeah, there's blood vessels in your bone, right?
Yeah, I think it's the marrow can go bad, and then the bone went bad.
It won't make it no more blood cells and shit.
It's like a dead tooth, but it's in your foot.
Yeah, but the thing that's also weird is that I don't know what bone in his foot went bad, but I
There's
feel
260 of those.
Yeah,
so.
you got a lot of bones in there. Just pop that puppy out. Do you need it? Just pop a marble in there in its place. I bet it'll do the trick.
Must have been a big
Cat's
one.
eye.
Yeah. Luckily, he was out for 2 years, but did return. But missed 2 years. That's pretty significant.
But he always limped on the field.
You always heard him coming. It was a little bit of a stutter.
Excuse me?
I'm going to come.
Hey. Don't come. Don't come.
Do not
I'm
come.
going to come. I'm going to come. It's going to be huge.
We are quoting previous president.
We are quoting memes right now. Do not come.
I mean, he did say it.
I'm gonna come.
So the next year was a double. Madden 2000. Madden 2000 featured legendary Barry Sanders on the cover.
Barry Sanders. Was he on the Lions?
Well, at first it featured him. Not too long after it announced Barry Sanders would be the featured athlete, he retired. He said, nah, fuck that.
He's like, you ain't put me on that fucking cover, motherfucker.
Yeah, so he retired. So the folks at Madden had to quickly pivot and go with Green Bay Packers running back, go Pack go, Dorsey Levens.
I like how they're like, oh shit, we have to pivot. I'm like, just put another person on the cover. You ain't doing shit. You didn't print anything yet. Just get Photoshop. You're fine.
So Levens was a good running back for a few years, but that season that he was on the cover would ultimately be his last time as a starter, with a season riddled with injuries for Levin. The Packers would have their worst recorded season since Dick Pick gunslinger Brett Favre was at the helm. So then Levens was cut after the season.
I'm honestly so surprised on how few of these people so far I actually know compared to who I think ends up on the cover. Because what constitutes picking somebody for the cover? I thought it was soon to be Hall of Famers. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like
They
Jerry Rice.
They
should've
typically
been
try
on
to
there.
take like an iconic player from the previous season.
Yeah. Even like Deion Sanders or like anybody. I mean, I'm running out of names here, but
One and done.
Kurt Warner,
Well, it's like
Rich Gannon.
I'm a hardcore Green Bay Packer fan. I had no memory
Oh, really?
of Dorsey Levens at all. Being
Damn.
completely honest.
They fucked him.
So yeah, there's a lot of these. So I'm gonna try to move faster.
Sorry.
Madden NFL 2001. Eddie George. Eddie George was an Ohio
that.
State Heisman Trophy winner who had
Yeah.
a good NFL career with the Tennessee Titans. But the year he was the cover athlete, Eddie George goofed a catch late in the fourth quarter in a playoff game, and the Ravens would intercept the ball, and that would lead to a touchdown, ending the Titans' season.
What a fucking goofer.
Yeah, and he never had a season as good as his previous years after this. Like, this was the start of his decline.
That might have been the same year I bought Backyard Football, because that name sounds pretty familiar, you know?
Yeah.
I think I was an Eddie George guy.
For me personally, this is the one that the names, I recognize all the names from here on out. So
Eddie
Madden.
George. Backyard
Madden.
Football. Was he in there? No.
I didn't think they had real players in Backyard Football. Are you
No,
talking
they
about
did.
NFL Street?
No. They did.
Cal Ripken Jr.
Yeah. That's Backyard Baseball. Yeah, of course. They
Baseball.
Yeah.
So Madden NFL 2002. Dante Culpepper.
Oh, no, that name.
Yeah. So this is a big one. Just a few months after being named the cover athlete, Culpepper suffered a knee injury against the Pittsburgh Steelers and missed the rest of the season. His career melted away with having 23 interceptions to 18 touchdowns the following year. This one's important because it was at this point people started to actually notice the trend that was going on and say, hey, you know what? The last few people that have been on the cover of this goddamn video game have shit the bed and things have gone really bad for them. So it was at this point that the curse was actually acknowledged and became like a thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
That's early. It's only 4 in?
Well, I believe the first installment was in '88, and the curse really started in, what was it? It was '99. Yeah, '99.
Yeah.
So this one is Madden 2003. Marshall Faulk, the then St. Louis Rams. They're now Los Angeles Rams yet again, where they started. Marshall Faulk was named the greatest show on turf.
Whoa, cool name.
Until he was a cover athlete, where his rushing yards significantly declined worse and worse until 2006, when he suffered a knee injury that would end his career in football.
Dude, that must be the hardest.
Yeah.
To get like a career-ending injury and being like,
Oh, yeah. I don't know what would be harder, a career-ending injury
or leaving
like,
on your own.
Well, like that's like right now in college basketball, we got Coach K at Duke, who after 44 seasons is retiring after this, and he's like known as like the greatest basketball coach of all time.
It's prison. It's all he knows.
But it's just like, how do you coach for 44 years and just decide to walk away from it? Like, if I was at that point, I'm like, I'm dying here.
Dude,
You're either firing me or I'm dying here.
Yeah, I think it's like Paterno. Didn't like Paterno like he retired and died a year later or something like that? Am I wrong?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I mean, he wasn't alive for the whole Sandusky thing, right?
Yeah, luckily.
And then they tore down his statue. It was like, oh, fuck. But
yeah, that was ugly.
Yeah, it's just very. I mean, he could become like a commentator or something like that. Like that's always an option.
Yeah,
A little Roy Kent. I'm like Roy Kent.
My prediction: he's going to become a League of Legends coach.
Ooh,
Madden 2004.
You little Korean boys, come on. He's gonna go to South Korea. That's where the talent is. Coach K goes to the talent. He goes to talent, baby.
Yeah. So Madden 2004. Michael Vick. Yeah, no, it wasn't that year. Not that year, but the Atlanta Falcons quarterback would suffer a fracture in his right fibula in preseason and would miss the first 11 games of the season.
Aren't there like 12?
It changes. So I'm not sure how many games they actually played in 2004.
That's weird.
That's why a lot of the records too are like kind of confusing these days, because it's like, well, obviously you're gonna break rushing yards if you get like an extra game, an extra 2 games, extra 3 games.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. So it's
Yeah.
like fluctuating records. They're like most rushing yards, and it's like, well, yeah, he had 2 extra games.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
So Madden 2005, Ray Lewis, Baltimore Ravens.
Murderer!
And again, this doesn't have to do with, his violent crime. He killed a guy. This season, Ray Lewis failed to record an interception for the first time in his career. The
He
Ravens
failed to what?
to record an interception.
Oh, so he
Like,
didn't get
hadn't
an
had a pick
interception. Oh, really?
for the first time in his career. And the Ravens failed to make the playoffs, and in week 6 he tore his right hamstring, missing the rest of the season.
Oh, no.
Madden 06, Donovan McNabb. I still have Ray Lewis on the mind.
I was going to say, Donovan McNabb stabbed a guy?
No, I'm
The
still thinking about
bus?
Ray. McNabb was on track to have a massive season until he suffered a groin injury that ended his season.
Oh,
it
not
never
the
got
groin.
back. Yeah, the groin. You ever had a groin injury?
Because then you can't even do anything in your off time, if you know what I mean.
Have you ever hurt your groin?
Not enough, apparently.
It
I don't know what
sucks.
you're about to say. What'd you do?
No, I when I threw javelin, I would always strain it. Because you
really?
run sideways, like big steps, like going sideways
Yeah.
and stuff. I would
Yeah.
always strain it. It would like hurt to like you couldn't drive.
Oh, really?
Like like the smallest things you never think of would just be like excruciating.
I did that exercise where you have to push your legs together. It's like one of those giving birth machines. You know?
Oh yeah, I've seen those. I've never gotten on one.
Oh, I did it one time. You don't even realize how weak that muscle is until you do that one
yeah.
time. You're like, holy shit.
I bet.
So
That's one
bad.
of those weird ones. So yeah, he never really got back to 100%. And then the following year, he kind of continued to deal with his groin until he tore his ACL and meniscus in his right knee. His career continued like a roller coaster until 2011, when his career came to an end. So Madden 07, Sean Alexander, the Seattle Seahawks. The season before, Alexander had a broken foot that derailed his season, but the team at EA decided to throw him on the cover anyways because, he had been a dominant force in previous years. They thought, he's going to come back and do, great stuff.
Interesting. Like I said, I wonder what their fucking voting process is. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'd love to sit in on a meeting and watch that.
I feel like jersey sales have to have an impact too. Like,
maybe.
like fan favorite kind of thing.
Yeah, like who has the most name recognition? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they could have easily put Jeremy Lin on the cover of like 2K
oh yeah.
13.
Easily.
You know,
Whatever year that was.
13. Something like that.
That sounds close enough. Unfortunately for Alexander, he did not escape the curse because his cover season was plagued with injuries, having a fractured wrist, sprained knee, sprained ankle, and in case you guys didn't know, it fucking hurts being a running back. You get hit a lot. After his slew of injuries, the Seahawks cut Alexander the next season.
Ow.
In an interview, he was asked about the curse, in which he replied, "Do you want to be hurt and on the cover, or just hurt?"
Oh, pretty cool answer.
Madden 08. Again, we haven't
Is this
skipped
literally
a year yet.
is this literally every year? I was about to ask that.
We have not skipped a year since 99. Madden 08, Vince Young, Titans.
Oh,
and,
I remember him.
And Luis Castello.
Wait, Vince Young, was he on the Texans? I mean, the Longhorns?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He played against USC, right?
Yeah, that was one of the greatest college national championships of all time was USC.
Yeah, Reggie Bush and Matt Liner or something.
Yeah, Liner.
Liner.
Stafford was Georgia.
I got to see them play because my friend's uncle was a quarterback coach that taught him, Steve Sarkisian, who ate a
let's not say
booger.
that.
He ate a
Let's not say that,
booger.
man.
He ate a booger.
I saw Matt.
He ate a booger on TV.
I saw Matt Leinart at a Target in LA once.
Really?
We made eye contact, and like he saw me. He's like, "Oh fuck, that kid knows who I am." And I gave him a look like, "I'm not gonna bother you."
I saw David Hasselhoff in a Target.
Go Ducks. Was he drunk?
He was rubbing his penis on the personal scanner on the self checkout.
I worked with Hasselhoff once, and he showed up to the event trash.
No,
and
fuck
couldn't
you.
walk.
No, fuck you. I did. I told you that story. No, I worked at it was the
No.
Stan Lee thing.
You didn't work at that.
Dude,
I gave
fuck
you a ticket to it.
No.
You gave me. You couldn't work it.
No.
So you gave me the contact.
No, fuck you.
Yeah.
Two separate things. We both worked the same thing. No, fuck you. You know why? I worked the beginning of it when they did the pre-stuff, and then I couldn't work the actual event because I had another gig. So I met him when they did like the taping before, but you worked the actual gig. So I went there with your wife, who's now your wife, and then we were walking around, and I saw him walk through the fucking back door, and he was so fucking drunk off his ass. I remember I walked upstairs to like kind of like look at the theater, and he was collapsed on a couch, and the producers were all like talking around him, and he was like like doing that kind of shit.
Home.
Yeah, they put him back in the car and sent him home.
Yeah. So I did work that. You were a guest.
Yeah, but I worked it before you because I got to meet Michael Rooker. Remember? I got to meet Stan Lee.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah,
I did all that.
Stan Lee. I remember that
because of you.
They told me that I was like, oh, can I go get a picture with Stan? And they're like, I wasn't gonna ask him, but they're like, he likes. I'm like, the producer was like, he likes the female PAs more, and I was like, what the fuck, dog? You can't.
You did that move where you like tuck it behind and push your legs together and stand up.
I was like, hey, Stanley.
All right, let's get back into this.
Sorry.
Madden 08, Vince Young, Titans, and Luis Costello, the then San Diego Chargers, recipes. This is a great one. This is one of my favorite ones. So before Young and Costello got the covers, legendary running back LaDainian Tomlinson was approached by EA to be on the game's cover. But there was such an outcry from Charger fans and NFL fans begging Tomlinson to decline in fear of something horrible happening to their sweet, sweet baby boy. He declined the offer.
Oh, my God.
Vince Young heard all about the Madden curse, where he scoffed at it in an interview, only to injure his quadricep in Week 6, and the first time he'd ever missed a game for an injury in his entire football career. He would return, but re-injure it in the final game of the season. Young would then injure his knee the next season and would be a backup for the rest of his career.
I was gonna say I didn't hear about him for so long. I just remember I was like, what happened to him?
Well, he was a running quarterback, and when running quarterbacks hurt their knees, they're kind of toast. And Luis Costello, you might be confused on why they're two, but Luis was the cover athlete for the Spanish language version of the game, which I didn't know they did that. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's interesting.
Spanish or not, no one is safe from the curse when Costello would be sidelined for a chunk of the season due to a knee injury.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Madden 09, Brett Favre, Packers.
Hell yeah.
The folks at EA said, to hell with this curse, you can't curse someone who is retired, and decided to dedicate this installment to one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, Brett Favre. Unfortunately, after they made this decision, Brett Favre said fuck it and came out of retirement to go play for the New York Jets.
Oh.
Favre had a
Levi's?
decent... Oh, yeah, he went out in the field.
Wranglers.
Levi's on.
Wranglers. It was the Wranglers. That's what it was.
Don't forget about his copper fit. Favre had a decent season for an old man, but started sending dick pics that got a lot of publicity, and then he injured his right shoulder late in the season, which would never really go away for the rest of his career.
How many more seasons did he play after that?
3.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
'cause I think he either did
Brady
2...
just came out of fucking retirement.
Yeah,
Again.
he either did 2 with the Jets and 2 with the Vikings, or 1 with the Jets and 3 with the Vikings. I don't remember.
Oh, yeah, he did go to the Vikings.
Yeah. Madden 10, Larry Fitzgerald Arizona Cardinals, and Troy Polamalu, Steelers.
Oh, head and shoulders, man.
Oh, yeah. Fitzgerald is the first example of the curse not exactly ruining a season. It wasn't his best season, but the receiver's longtime quarterback retired, so his numbers dipped a little bit, but he did miss the Pro Bowl due to a rib injury. Fun fact about Larry Fitzgerald is that I believe this is still true. He has more career tackles as a wide receiver than he does drop passes.
Really?
So that means that he got a tackle on a defender after they made an interception. He's done that more times than he has had a ball hit off his hands.
So they're basically saying that he's responsible for like less interceptions. Wait, does it count if it doesn't touch his hands at all and it just goes straight to the, like, if somebody runs in front of him and catches it?
No, that's not a drop ball. A drop ball has to touch your hands.
Okay, so at least he, like, if there is an interception, like, he's the guy that stops it. Like, they most likely are not getting a touchdown or more yards off that.
Yeah,
not a
but
pick,
that's just like,
not a pick six, as we like to call it in the NFL.
But no, that's like one of the crazier football stats of all time.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
But Polamalu, on the other hand, sprained his MCL in the first week and missed 4 games, and then played 3 games until he injured his posterior cruciate ligament.
Butt?
I don't know. And
was he the Spanish cover?
No, this one they had them both like running towards each other.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I do remember this one actually.
Yeah. And without his constant help, the Steelers would miss the playoffs. Damn. Madden 11, Drew Brees, New Orleans Saints. After breaking the season, after the season that he broke, Jesus, what I write? After a record-breaking season that led to a Super Bowl, quarterback Drew Brees was slapped on the cover for the next season. Then the curse struck again, with Brees throwing twice as many interceptions as he did in the previous year, and would be a first-round exit in the playoffs, losing to the Seahawks. And the Seahawks that year were the first team ever in the NFL to make it to the playoffs with a losing record.
Oh, wow.
I remember that being like a really weird thing, that like there was tons of weird ties and like cancellation. Like it was weird, but yeah, somehow they made it to the playoffs with a losing record.
Yeah, like you said, when they're changing every year from like how many games you're playing, and like I feel like just certain shit, it goes, yeah, I don't know how this happened, but like they're in the Super Bowl. That's kind of strange.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like this year with the Raiders and the Chargers. If they tied in their last game, they both would have made the playoffs, or it was whoever won made the playoffs.
Oh, really?
And it would have bumped another team out.
Yeah, that's so crazy. That's like watching one of those sports movies where like after the team wins, they're watching the next game that's playing, and they're like, if that team loses, we get to the playoffs, and they're like, yeah, like
yeah.
I think it was like Little Big League, that movie. I liked that growing up.
So Madden 12, Peyton Hillis. This one, I do not remember this dude at all.
Never even heard that name.
Cleveland Browns. Random. The curse hit Hillis hard long before the season even started, with issues in his contract. He got strep throat and injured his hammy. He would only have 587 yards, which is really bad for a running back. And the Browns declined to re-sign him after the season.
What's like a normal running back's like coverage? Like
at least
thousands?
1,000, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Madden 13, Calvin Johnson, Detroit Lions.
They're picking teams that are notoriously bad.
Well, Calvin Johnson was something else, though.
Oh, really? Oh, well, that makes sense because like the Browns and the Lions have been in last place numerous times, so they get first-round draft picks.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
Yeah. Calvin Johnson's nickname was Megatron. I don't know why.
Am I supposed to be impressed?
he was a fucking beast.
Because he needed the Allspark.
But you know what? Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first Madden game cover to not curse a player since 1999.
Whoa.
And we are in 2013. Not only did Megatron escape the curse, but he had the best season of his career and the best season out of almost any receiver's career, beating Jerry Rice for most receiving yards in a season.
Wow.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp this previous year for the Rams, he was like 20 yards short of beating him. And I think he had more games, so just to put in perspective.
Is he still in the Lions?
No, he retired, honestly, way too early. Got tired of getting his ass kicked, I guess.
Yeah, he probably had all that money, so.
Yeah. So, Madden 25. This one skipped a number because it was the 25th year of Madden, so they named it Madden 25. And this was Adrian Peterson, Minnesota Vikings. And no, this doesn't have to do with his multiple accounts of abuse.
Oh my God, that's right. Didn't he beat the shit out of his girlfriend in an elevator and like drag her out?
I'm pretty sure he beat up a wife or girlfriend, but I'm more referring to the fact that he like beat the shit out of his son with a stick.
Oh, a switch. That's right. Yeah.
That one was pretty bad.
I don't know. People were like torn on that. People were like, "Oh, that's fine. Like that's just like, that's how my parents did it." And I'm like, that doesn't mean it's cool. What?
Yeah.
Like, I hate when people bring up that thing. They're like, "That's just like how I was raised." I'm like, well, you should be filing some complaints too. Like,
I'm sorry. Was your father Adrian Peterson? Was your father made of pure muscle? And like, Jesus, man.
Yeah, your dad was 58 and he had
in
arthritis in his shoulder. Like come on. He wasn't. My dad made me take helmets to the sternum. Like, come on.
AP had a lingering foot injury, and the Vikings would end with a 5-10-1 season, with Peterson's foot ending his season towards the end.
Dead bone, huh?
Dead bone, man. That thing's stanky.
That's crazy to think that somebody had a dead bone in their foot.
Yeah, it's wild.
Doctor's like, that is very common, actually. I'm like, shut up, assholes.
Fuck you.
You're ruining my podcast. They're like, no, you're ruining it. I'm like, okay, that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's fair.
That's fair. I think that's fair.
Madden 15, Richard Sherman's Seahawks.
Yeah, we hated him in San Francisco, and then he joined us.
Yeah. I worked with him once. He was a really nice guy. I always think, whenever I see his name or hear his name, I always think of one time I was at a fundraiser with my mom, and they had a signed football from Richard Sherman that they were auctioning. And my mom picked up the ball, and she looks at it, and she looks at me, and she goes, "Who is Rashad Shremen?"
Rashad Shremen. Wow. I think he should do a name change, Ocho Cinco style, baby.
Yeah. I always think about that. That's
Rashad Shremen.
Rashad Shremen.
That's so fucking good.
So going into the season, it was announced that Shremen would need Tommy John surgery.
Oh, wait!
But
he don't even throw the ball.
Yeah, you can still get hurt.
Yeah, but like I thought Tommy John's is what like pitchers get from throwing the ball over and over again.
I don't know. Maybe it was from like deflecting blocks. Getting off blocks.
Maybe. Or swim move.
Yeah, the swim moves. So Shremen would opt to let it heal naturally in the offseason, which it did, and he played the whole season. So Rashad Shremen survived the curse that year.
Interesting.
Madden 16, Odell Beckham Jr., New York Giants. Aside from being suspended from one game for a little hissy fit he threw on the sideline, OBJ had a great year and escaped the curse. Madden 17, Rob Gronkowski, New England Patriots. Who doesn't love Gronk? The curse don't. Gronk missed the first 2 games of the season with a hamstring. He played a little here and there, but didn't really get minutes until game 5, where he was looking good for the season. until week 11, where he suffered a pulmonary contusion after a big hit from a Seattle secondary.
What's a pulmonary contusion? I know it's a bump, but pulmonary.
Contusion's like a deep bruise.
Oh, I thought it was like. I think you get a contusion is when like you get a contusion on your head and it becomes like a giant lump. Is that a contusion?
I had a contusion on my thigh, and it was like a deep bruise.
Oh, maybe it is a deep bruise, but maybe when you first get it, it's like it becomes like a very big welt or something like that. Because I know like UFC people like get contusions and shit like that because they get punched in the head and shit. But
yeah, I don't know. He played one game until suffering after the contusion. He played one game until suffering a back injury, which led to surgery. Gronk watched his team win the Super Bowl from the sidelines. So Madden 18, Thomas Brady.
You're right. It is Patriots. A deep bruise. It is a deep bruise. Fuck.
Madden 18, Tom Brady, Patriots. It's Tom Brady, so no curse can touch him. He is a golden god. He would win MVP that year, but did lose to the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl despite Brady having a good game.
No, that's the curse.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't affect like his personal playing.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's also like hard not to get cursed when your job is to literally slam into the largest human beings, the most athletic, largest human beings. It's like pretty easy to get that curse on you.
Madden 19, Antonio Brown Steelers. Oh boy.
Oh no.
There's so much to unpack about sweet Antonio Brown. That he could be his full own episode, but according to how the curse works, he escaped the curse.
Mm-hmm.
He had a good season, but in the years to come after this season, he will
be
have a wild ride. And in this year's, I mean this most previous season, he was with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers until he randomly mid-game took his pads off, threw his clothes into the stands, did jumping jacks in the end zone while the game was still going on, and ran off the field. He is currently unsigned after abandoning his team mid-game.
Did you ever see that edit they did when he's like, I can't fucking breathe in this shit? And it's like him pulling off his face like, I'm telling you I can't. Like,
that was one of the weirdest things I had seen in a football game in a long time.
Yeah, did anybody ever figure out what the fuck happened?
From what he claims was that he was hurt and playing with an injury, and the coaches wanted him to go in, and he was said, fuck you, I'm hurt, I'm not going to go in. And someone said, get your ass out there. And he said, fuck you, and then stormed off the field.
Oh, so it's kind of like, that's kind of a gray area where like he abandoned his team, but like at the same time, if that's true, his coaches don't give a fuck. And like, that's a good reason to do it, to be like, you think you can control like everything I do? It's like, fuck you, like I'm hurt, you know?
Yeah, but also with Antonio Brown's history, it's kind of hard to take what he says serious.
There's something going on in that brain of his, right?
Oh, there's one specific play when I think his name's Vontez Burfict. He absolutely drilled him helmet to helmet, and ever since then, a lot of people speculate that he had severe brain damage from that hit, and that his actions have been more and more volatile since then.
Interesting.
Yeah. His whole story is just fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just do a story about him one day, because there's so much going on there.
He farted.
So he'd be farting. He was farting on people.
On the physical trainer, or like the team doctor.
Yeah. He refused to play because the NFL outlawed his helmet that he wanted to wear, because it was this helmet from high school that he kept repainting.
That was, I remember that was a big thing there.
He
like
got frostbite on the bottom of his feet.
From what? Cryogenic freezing.
therapy. I don't.
Yeah.
Dude, it's fucking everything's so crazy. Madden 20. Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs. Mahomes suffered a knee injury that looked really bad. I remember watching that game and being like, "Oh fuck." But that didn't stop him from winning the Super Bowl and being Super Bowl MVP that year. Curse avoided. Madden 21, Lamar Jackson, Ravens. He had to leave a game once because he had to poop. The curse did not get him.
That sounds like me if I was a player.
Madden 22, Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. They had both of them on the cover. The two shared the cover, and this would be the... Well, that makes sense. What I wrote was the two shared the cover, and this would be the previous year.
Whoa, time travel.
The season started pretty rocky for Mahomes and the Chiefs, but they got together and had a... Oh, what I was trying to say was that this cover was last year's cover.
Last year is in 2021. I forget what year it is.
Well, 22. Like this.
It was called Madden 22.
Yeah, the season that just ended. This would be for that season.
Yeah, that kind of always fucked me up a little bit when I was like younger. I like didn't understand it.
Oh yeah, it took me forever to figure out.
I'm like, it's not. Why are they calling it Madden 23?
The game comes out in 2021, but it's called Madden 22 because it's in preparation for the upcoming season. That confused the hell out of me as a kid.
Fucked my brain.
So the season started pretty rocky for Mahomes and the Chiefs. They got together and had a good season, losing in the playoffs. For Tom Brady, he had another great year, regardless on being old as fuck, and also made it to the playoffs, but lost in the playoffs. Then Brady retired for 40 days and decided he wasn't ready to sit at home with his family, and
he's
came
like,
back
fuck this
out of retirement.
family.
Yeah, he's like, I can only kiss my son on the mouth so many times.
I was about to say, he's like, Dad, can you kiss me? He's like, I can't fucking kiss this kid again.
My lips are so goddamn dry.
His breath stinks like fucking Cheetos.
Hey, goddamn Takis. Who eats Takis, you little shit?
Yeah, I wonder what his kids be eating. Like fucking, Pepitas and fucking...
Gobstoppers all day.
Skinny Pop. No, I bet they're so healthy. This fucking... probiotic this.
So yeah, that is the legend of the Madden curse thus far. It hit hard for many years until the last few seasons. It kind of let up the last like 3 or 4 years, but there's a pretty good stretch in there where it significantly ruined people's careers.
Yeah.
And you might be thinking, well, who's next? Who could be the next victim in the upcoming installment?
Oh, do we know yet who's 2023?
Well, like
guess?
many... Sure.
Do you think I would get it?
You should.
Is it...
I can think of two answers that I think it has to be one or the other.
Who's the fucking... Is he on the Rams?
That's one of my guesses.
I was guessing the guy who won the MVP. Is that Cooper Kupp? Who's that?
Yeah.
Okay, Cooper Kupp.
Kupp would be...
Or Mahomes again? No, they wouldn't do that again, right?
So do you want me to tell you who it's going to be?
Yeah, just tell me.
Like many others, I believe there won't be a curse this year because the right person to be put on the cover
John Madden
should be the late John Madden himself.
Yeah.
If they don't put him on the cover, it's like what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, that kind of does make sense actually.
But if they put a player on the cover, I would think it's going to be Cooper Kupp.
But then he's going to rise from the dead and hurt his knee. He fucked his knee climbing out of the coffin.
Jesus Christ, Toby.
What?
He's barely been dead.
The man's a legend. He's going to come back to life.
We already wrote the rules. We can only make fun of dead people if they've been dead for a significant amount of time.
Yeah, but like
not December 28th, 2021.
John's great.
Yeah, John was great.
John was big.
Yeah, he almost made it in the NFL. He was on a practice team for like a year, but
he never played?
No, he banged his knee up in college.
He got the curse.
Yeah, that's where it originated. I think he blew his knee out in college, and then an NFL team took him, but I think he just was never physically able to play.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that.
You know, he was terrified of planes and drove to every game that he broadcasted.
Yeah, I thought the planes would do like a little spiral thing if he got on them. Big guy.
Jesus Christ.
No, I mean, like, honestly, I think I'm more like John Madden than
Yeah.
most. I don't like flying.
I picked you up from the airport, and you were shaking like a little lost pup.
Like a leaf on a tree. Like a leaf on a tree. I had to be drunk the entire time. If I'm going down, I'll go down with my happy juice in my belly.
And your
You know?
goggles.
David laughs at me because I had goggles on the plane. I don't trust any of those
I picked him up from
motherfucking.
the airport, and he had these lines around his eyes because he's wearing goggles to keep the COVID out of his eyeballs.
To be fair, I was working as a COVID compliance officer, and my boss gave me so much shit, and he's like, "Put these on. You can't get COVID and then come back here, and like I need you working." So I was like, "Fine, I'll wear them." So I put them on the plane, and I didn't wear them for the entire time, but I did wear them every time I went up to go to the bathroom.
I could tell you wore them the whole time. You came out looking like Chronicles of Riddick.
I look like the kid from fucking Speaking of Little Giants, you know, wrapped in bubble wrap and shit.
Goggle kid with the booger bubble.
Yeah, booger bubble. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Once again, we love telling you the stories, and we love when you stick around and listen. If you guys want any more information, go to Camp Strange Podcast at Instagram. Go to Camp Strange Podcast on Instagram at Camp Strange Podcast. And if you guys, if you click the link in the bio, you could get, to the merch, to the anywhere you want to listen to it, and you're already listening to it. You fucking know where to listen to it. I don't know why I even say that. If you guys want to send us anything, send it to campstrangepodcast@gmail.com. And if you guys would like to rate, review, and subscribe, we would really appreciate it. So please do that if you can. We love it when you leave a nice review or rate us highly, Tell your friends about it, Tell your friends. Then you guys can have something to talk about. Hey, you guys hear those dumbasses? Yeah, they're dumber than us. Cool. We feel better about ourselves. Just do it. Hang out, have a good time. I think that's basically it.
Yep.
David, do you have anything to say before we leave?
No, let's wrap it up. This is a long episode.
It is a fucking long episode. To split this in two and listen to it 1 week and then the next week listen to the other half. It's fine. And also, just don't forget to stay strange.